Hi, I'm Luciano, and this is the Adventures of Lollipop Man. In this course, you are going to learn how to use Rigify. Let's get rigging, right? Before we get started, I just reset it. I'm gonna reset actually my Blender again, just in case. And I'm gonna go to load factory defaults, so you and I have the same Blender. We are on this version, and I'm gonna go and see a splash screen, and as you can see, it says April the 4th of 2020, 2.83 alpha. First of all, we need to get started with Rigify. So to get started with Rigify, we need to open it up in the add-ons, get it activated. So we're gonna go to Edit, Preferences, and then Add-ons, and you just look for Rigify. Rigify. If I learn how to type, it would be better. And you get this little panel here. You probably know this, but just in case for those of you who are new, rigging with Rigify. And you know it's version 0.6.1, and you can see here that there's documentation available, and it will take you to the website. There's a legacy mode if you need to make it compatible for some reason with the previous version. I don't think you need to. If you're starting from scratch, you don't need to. And this is a very cool feature that they've included now, where you can install a zip file with new feature sets like a different layout or some extra Metarig or etc. With this activated, you just save your preferences and then done. Now we can get ready. So I'm gonna clean up my scene just because I don't need any of this. And I'm gonna go Shift A and then Armature. And you can see that now under Armature, actually I'm gonna show you the difference. And turn it off. If I go Shift A, you get Armature single bone. But if I just turn it on, then you get humans, animals, basic, etc. And this is because all of these are Metarigs for the Rigify system. We're gonna see only the human one, but that's the one that we're gonna use. But you can see that, for instance, you got a bird, and if you go there, it's basically a bird. And then when you generate the rig, because this is just a base that you'll customize and you move around to fit to your joints and whatever, and then that's what's going to generate your rig, a Metarig. And as you can see, it seems like some of these pieces, like they're not all the same. You got a cat, right? So this could be like a hand thing, and then you got as I said, a bird. And also, like this bird, the fingers have like less pieces, right, than for instance the hand. And then the foot of the human is different, doesn't have fingers. Maybe there's a version to make it have them. And so basically what Rigify is, it's a set of little components that you put together. How do you do this? If I create a new armature, I'm just going to delete this one. I'm going to create a new armature with single bone, and I'm going to delete this bone. I'm going to go to edit mode by hitting tab, and then I'm just going to go to the frontal view, and then this, by the way, this little pie menu I really like. I haven't gotten used to it completely, but I really like it because I can go to my front, sides, top and bottom and right, and camera view if I have a camera, obviously, and then to view selected. I'm just missing one, which is like view all, like pressing home. Just need that one extra, and I think we'll be golden. But just learn that one. It's next to your number 1 on the top keys. So I'm just gonna create. No, I'm not gonna create anything. I'm not gonna create a bone. I'm inside the armature edit mode. I just deleted the bones that I had, and I'm going to go to this bone, to this armature panel here, Just gonna try to make this bigger. Somebody told me the other day that they weren't being able to see the stuff, so I'm just gonna make my whole interface bigger. Just need to remember where. Interface, there we go. Let's go like 1.2, I guess. Yeah, should be good enough. Should be big. So if you go here, you get these Rigify buttons, and these Rigify buttons, they only appear in edit mode, by the way. If I go to object mode, they're gone. Like, you get different buttons. If you go to pose mode, you get different buttons, but you go to edit mode and you get these ones. And basically what this is the rig types, and you can create them by just adding sample. So for instance, I'm just gonna create a face, bam, and so I got a face, and I can generate my rig with just this. So if I go now to say pose mode, generate my rig, I'll get a master bone, which always is going to be created at the top of everything, and then the head or the face, more or less. So I'll hide this, and I got all of the controls for the face, right? I can delete this one and then go back to my armature, original armature. Let's call this Metarig, just for good sports. I'll delete all of this, and I'm gonna create a limb arm. There you go, an arm. So when I go and turn this into rig, you get an arm, right? And so every single one of those Metarigs that come within Blender or within the Rigify add-on, they're all just a combination of these little pieces that they mount together to create the one big one. So that's good. And it's also important to know that the way this works is basically in the script that creates this, it tells Blender that there's a specific amount of bones that you're going to need. And if we go into pose mode and select the bones of Rigify, you can select the first one of any chain, and you'll see that the first one is the one that has the type, Rigify type, and says limb arms. If you see these other ones, under Rigify type, they have nothing, right? So this one, also, because I created it, I know that it needs 3 bones, right? I can actually go and delete these 2, and then this one still says the same, but let's see what happens when I build the rig. So Rigify error, input type must be a chain of 3 bones, right? So go and delete this dude again. Wish X would work there. Anyways, so I'll just create 2 more. I'm going to extrude this guy here. Just go front. I'm going to extrude him, and then extrude him again, and then I'm going to look for it from the top. Yeah, that looks more like it. Because it's an arm, you always need to have the end, like the elbow bend towards where it should bend. Because if you don't do that, the autorig won't recognize where it's supposed to be pointed. So if they're perfectly aligned, you're screwed. So you need to give it at least a little bit, and then it will recognize how to do it. So bam, bam, bam. So now just generate this rig. Bam. Now it worked flawlessly, right? It put it where it needed to put it. You get your IK arm, your FK arm. You even get a switch, I think. Let's look for the switch. No, this is not it. Okay, there we go. So you get IKFK, or you can snap them, like that. Super cool. So this new Rigify version is mwah. Now that we know this will allow us to understand how a rig is built very quickly, very easily, and also be able to customize it. You have to keep in consideration that, for instance, in this rig, I got this Metarig here. I'm just going to add some other bone. Just going to call this Le Bone. This set, I'm just going to make it a child of that one. Control P, parent-child relationship. And we want to keep offset because we want to stay where they are. Just make that little pointed line so we know that it's a parent-child relationship. I'm going to go back and going to build my rig. So it still generates it, But I'm gonna hide my Metarig. Where is my bone? Where did it go? We don't know, right? If you don't assign anything to a bone that you created yourself, by default, it will just go and hide it. It will go into a layer and then your bone will be there. The last layer, which is where the org bones, which are, I guess, org is for original. I don't know. I haven't found documentation of that. So your bone's still there. It's still somehow part of the rig, as you can probably figure out. But it doesn't do anything with it. And also, being an org bone, you can see that it's not deforming. So when you weight your character, this bone really won't affect. It's like it doesn't exist. So you want to assign a Rigify type for that bone to be considered in the rig. For instance, say you're doing a character that has some ponytails, and so you want to add those extra bones. You need to create this bone, go to your pose mode, and then select the bone panel here. Actually, sorry, I'm in the rig. I want to go to my Metarig. So pose mode, rig type, and then say, for instance, you could use copy chain, basic copy chain. And when you create now your rig, boop, copy chain needs more bones. Nope, not the one. Let's delete this again. Bam, go back. So you go to pose mode. Let's look for another one. I think, sorry, yeah, pose mode. Boom. Then basic pivot. See how this works. Then generate. And so basic pivot is this controller that has this thing. How does it work? Okay. This is very interesting because this is something I'm discovering with you, because I've never used that rig type because it's new in this one. And so this guy is, I made it a parent of the other one. And so that means somehow, yeah, if I move this, it goes with it. But if I move this one, it doesn't. So what does it mean for these guys? Does it pivot from a... Yeah, right. So I can put it here and pivot from there. I can put it here and pivot from there. Interesting. Wonder how that works in the long run. Not because I fear it, it's just because I don't understand it in my head. Cool, very cool to know. Let's go and try the one that we were looking for. So we're gonna go again to pose mode and change basic pivot to super copy. This is the one. This is the one. So I'll generate the rig. We're gonna hide this guy here. It's still a copy, but now, as you can see, it behaves like we would have expected. It moves, and obviously the hierarchy moves with it. This guy, he's just an IK and has no parent by default, so we should parent it to Le Bon. Now it would move with it. Good. Space switching. Incredible how that space switching works, but there we go. Now we know that there's pieces that we can mix and match and how to get to them very easily. There's some specific options for the different type of pieces. We're not going to go into all of them. We might go into some of them because we're probably going to use them. That's it for starters. Other panels that you need to take into consideration, which we're going to use bone groups panel, which is great because it will create bone groups. When you create the rig, it will create bone groups for specific bones with colors and stuff like that to help you identify them easier. So we're gonna modify that because the default ones are not my favorite, and I think there's a much better way, simpler. And then it creates a layer system, which is not the basic layers that Blender has for the armatures, which are these ones. It basically copies those into a panel and puts names on it so you can easily turn on and off what you need, or the animator in this case. Let's create our Metarig, and you see here we have this guy, the tit, which is a basic super copy, the one that we just used. Then we have here a limb super limb, and then for instance in the fingers we get a super finger, legs super limb with a limb type leg, And then it will create FK and IK and tweak. Basically, the IK layer will go to the layer where the bone is sitting right now. The FK layer will go to the layer it's specified here, and tweak layer will go to the other one specified here. Also here you get a basic spine, a spine, super head, and then over there head, head, head. This is all head, and then this is super face. So head is these three, and then you get face, and then that's it. And these guys also super basic copy. So basically they are just parents of these guys and children of that guy and this guy, of that guy, and so on. And that's it. Super simple. Hey, it's me again. So I just wanted to go through what we learned in this video. First, to activate the addon. Second, what a Metarig is. Third, understanding what the rig types are and how to use them. And dissecting one Metarig. In the next video, we're going to continue on by setting up our model and preparing it to be rigged. If you enjoyed this video, please support me by liking and subscribing. See you next time. Oof. Huh?